Okay, we're getting ready to start the meeting. We're now in the meeting, possibly, but we're thinking about how we're going to manage these participants. You've probably entered into so many calls where all of a sudden in front of you is 20, 30, 10 students right in front of you, and you're like, oh, what do I do? How do I get them started? People are trying to work out if their audio is working. Is there video? Can you see me? Can you hear me? There's someone yelling, there's someone using the chat, someone's trying to share their screen. How do you control the situation? So in this section, we're going to talk about managing participants, starting a meeting, and how you can be a tech support and how to be the host as you get that going. Because again, these are your responsibilities as someone hosting a virtual meeting. So here's just a framework, a mindset that I use when I'm starting a session. I want to be the gracious and welcoming host. So when you think about your home or you're hosting a party or whatnot, you want to be someone who welcomes people into your home. So when you do that, you usually are ready for people to come. So in my house, we clean the whole place up to make people think that we're super tidy. But you can take that mindset into when you start a meeting. You want to make sure that when people come into your classroom, they know you are ready for them. That's one way. Another thing is when you get and you're a gracious and welcoming host is you want to show people around. So when I have someone come over, I give them the tour, I tell them all the cool things I've done, but also you show them the bathroom, you show them how to feel comfortable. So again, the same as that you want to do. So take on that mindset of the gracious and welcoming host. You want to make sure people feel safe, secure, and ready to engage. So we'll think through how some elements you can use for that. So here's my starting a Zoom call tech. Let me say that again. Starting a Zoom call tech goal. This is technology. This is my goal for every single person who comes in. I want to say, I can see you, I can hear you. Because every participant that's coming in, they're worried, can you hear me and can you see me? Both literally and internally. Because they're worried about how they're going to look. They feel insecure. You think about when a new student walks into your classroom, they're wondering, will people accept me? So those are the two things that I try to answer. And the way that I do that is sometimes, hey, it's good to see you, Chris. Good to see you, Andrea. Good to see you, Crystal. And so they say, oh, wow, you can see me. The next thing is I can hear you. And I usually do this through a lot of different ways, but sometimes if I feel like I can't hear them well, I may say, hey, Peter, your audio is just not coming through. Anything I can do to help? Or just say, hey, it's good to hear your voice. And intrinsically, that tells people, hey, okay, my teacher, my principal, my administrator can hear me walking into that. Then the third and fourth elements that I try to do is ask the group as the host, can you see me and can you hear me? And I'll ask that quite literally. Hey, before we get started, can everyone see my video? Can my voice coming through? And I just get everyone to give me a thumbs up, just a literal thumbs up. And I also invite them throughout the call, make sure if you can't see me, hear me, you reach out and just tell me, because nothing worse than going through the call and people just tolerating you. Okay, so I'd encourage you to invite that. So 3 key tech support functions as a host that you need to master. Okay, 1, mute and unmute. 2, turn on and off video and show people video view options, okay? And then the third is how to change their name. All right. So mute and unmute, as you can see up on my screen here, is really simple. You can just tell people go to the control bar and click the little microphone on or off. For turn video, some people, I can't see my video. Just say, hey, go to your control bar, the black bar, and just click start video. Then for view options, you can tell people to go to the top of their screen. And this right now you can see in host mode, but in participant mode, at the very top of the screen, the very bottom, it will say view options, okay? And a green button. When you click down that, you can say side by side mode. So that means you can see your screen on one side and all the people on another side. So I really encourage people to do that. So these are the 3 things that I believe you need to know how to master to be a great host. Okay, another thing you can do is to help people know how to utilize the different types of video. So here you can see on the right-hand side, a typical video gallery. So if we see here, the one little slice, that means you can get rid of the video, all right? Then if you click in the middle here, the one box, that will only show whoever's speaking. So if there's 20 people on the call, it will only ever show one person. Then if you click the 2 boxes on top of each other, that will show everyone. And then when it gets over 4 to 5 videos, then you can go into gallery mode and it will just start to show everyone. And again, like I said before, you can also press view options as a participant and just scroll down to side by side mode. And therefore you'll see half of your screen will be the whatever you're sharing, and the other half will be all the participants. And I love that view because it just allows you not to get too messed up. Unfortunately, as a host, you can't do that. So you need to just kind of move people around. I also recommend putting everyone either to the side or putting them horizontal in the best way possible. So play around with that. And it's, again, just knowing how to tell people that will be helpful as I enter into the call. Then as we manage participants, so I'm going to show you here on my bar here, but you can also see on the screen. I've got my phone called into this. So I've got a participant on the call. And here as the host, you have lots of different options here. So for Andy, I can click on the More button and I can chat with him or her. I can make him or her the host. I can make a co-host. I can rename them. I can remove them. I can put them in a waiting room. So if you have a rambunctious student that you feel like just needs to leave, you can actually remove them completely or put them in the waiting room and say, hey, I'm going to come back and see like a bit of a timeout. Or I know this day and age with students and teachers, like the calming corner, possibly, you can put them into that. So that's just one option for how to manage participants. You can also, as the host, just go straight to, say you're hearing a lot of noises you don't want to hear, you can open up Manage Participants, then go to the Mute All, just boom, shut them all off. So you can do that straight away that way. And then if you want to unmute everyone, you can just click that button too. So once you've done that, you control that. They can't unmute themselves until you do that. So if you ask them to speak, make sure you've unmuted them before you've done that. So again, just some really simple, practical things to help you be the best host you can be when you start a meeting. So let's go to practice. So again, click on that new meeting button and start to play around with that. And to do that, when you do start a new meeting, invite your phone, like get the URL for the meeting, open it up on your phone or a tablet or a spouse's or a partner's or a child's laptop, set it up so you can play around with the host controls by muting people or even invite another teacher or a friend to come and practice with you. So press pause and do that now. Okay, great. Good job. So debrief, apply. So how can we utilize these tools to overcome the two enemies of distraction and disconnection? What are some ways you can do that to increase, attention and connection? So write down some ideas in your workbook from the tools you've seen that can help you have the best start to the meeting possible. Because I know that can be nerve-wracking, can get the sweats happening, can feel like, oh my goodness, how long is this call going to take? But write down some things, and I think you'll find next time you start a meeting, you're going to feel a lot less overwhelmed and feel a lot more encouraged and confident in how to have a start to the meeting that you wanted.